The story begins with a boy named Grisha, who is the spoiled son of the richest man in Russia. He goes to a club where he likes a girl and tries to impress her with his money. He then takes her with him to get intimate. The girl sits in the car, but Grisha tells her to hurry up and take off her clothes. When she refuses, Grisha kicks her out and leaves. He drives very fast, and a policeman stops him. Grisha says nothing and throws a wad of cash at the policeman's face, but the policeman does not take the bribe. The policeman steps in front of Grisha's car to stop him, but Grisha runs him over and keeps driving. Next, we see his father, Gustav, who comes to the police station. The policeman tells him that Grisha tried to bribe a policeman, and when he refused, Grisha ran him over with his car. He says that Grisha is crossing all limits, and Gustav needs to do something about it. Meanwhile, in the lockup, Grisha is lying down, chilling, and demands alcohol and a girl to dance for him because he is bored. Gustav gets him out and scolds him, but Grisha does not care because he knows he is the only son, and his father can't do anything to him. On the other hand, we see a dance show directed by Nastya, who is also Gustav's friend. Later, Gustav goes to her and says he is very worried and asks for her help. They then go to John, a director of horror films. Gustav tells him about his son and says he needs to reform him at any cost. They all make a plan together. That night, we see a scrap dealer taking Grisha's luxury car. Grisha sees this and runs after him, but a tranquilizer dart hits him in the neck, and he falls unconscious. The next day, a man named Artie Ram splashes water on his face to wake him up and says that the boss told him to prepare the horse. Did he do it? At that moment, Grisha looks around at his surroundings and his clothes and thinks he might have drunk too much last night. He starts looking for his phone and says he needs to make a call. Just then, a man comes and, cursing at him, throws him outside. Grisha tells him to stay in his place or he will regret it. The man says, "Where's the horse I told you to prepare yesterday?" Grisha replies that he doesn't know and that he's seeing him for the first time today. Just then, the owner of the village arrives and tells his son, Max, to punish Grisha for his mistake. Grisha is then whipped on his back. The owner says, "I need my horse ready before I finish my tea." Then, Billy comes and takes Grisha to the horse. Grisha tells him, "Brother, just let me make one phone call, and if I don't get all of them jailed, my name isn't Grisha." Billy says he doesn't understand what Grisha is talking about. Grisha then tries to run away, telling everyone to call the police. But the people there don't even know what the police are. Billy gives him clothes to wear, but Grisha asks where his clothes are and how these people are living without mobile phones in the 21st century. Billy tells him it's the year 1860. Grisha is then caught and taken to be hanged along with the other prisoners. Grisha thinks he might be dreaming, but as soon as the noose tightens around his neck, he realizes it's real. Just then, a beautiful girl named Natasha, the daughter of the village owner and Max's sister, arrives and tells her father, "Father, at least don't do this today. It's my birthday, and I don't want anyone to be killed today." The hangings are then cancelled. Billy then falls at Natasha's feet and thanks her, but Grisha just glares at him and says nothing. Meanwhile, in the sky above, we see an eagle, but then we realize it's not an eagle, but a drone keeping an eye on the entire village. In fact, Grisha had never gone to the past. His father had orchestrated all of this to teach him a lesson. He had a set built in the village, and all the people living there were actors. Everything they were doing or saying was according to a script. Cameras and microphones were installed throughout the village to monitor Grisha's every move and word. Grisha was telling Billy that he had figured everything out. The night he crashed the car, it was actually a time machine that sent him back to 1860. He says that if he wants to return, he needs to crash into a time machine again. He asks Billy if he has a car, but Billy doesn't respond because his script didn't cover that. Grisha was getting bored staying there and couldn't sleep at night because he had to sleep on grass like an animal instead of a soft bed. He was only given porridge to eat and had been injured from the many lashes he received. Meanwhile, Grisha's father tells John that he wants to see the changes in Grisha. The next day, when Grisha was resting in the fields, he heard someone crying. He followed the sound and saw that the village owner's daughter, Natasha, was crying loudly. She told him that her father had arranged her marriage to a rich old man, but Grisha told her that it was a good thing because the old man would die soon, and all his wealth would be hers. After that, he stole a chicken from the village owner's farm because it had been a long time since he had eaten chicken. Billy came up to him and asked for some, but Grisha said he had already finished it all. In the next scene, we see some people being interrogated about who stole the chicken from the farm. Till they revealed the real thief, one of them would be chosen and whipped. Grisha was watching all this and didn't care because he had no pity for anyone. Billy then showed Grisha the fake wounds on his back made by a makeup artist. During this, a girl named Mary arrived. As soon as she got off her horse, everyone saw her shiny underwear. Grisha approached her and asked where she got that underwear because it was the kind worn in their time. Grisha tries to take off her underwear to look at it, causing Mary to scream and run away. Seeing his son's behavior, a furious Gustav yells at John, I've invested so much money in your idea, but it has made no difference to my son. It's better to shut this down quickly. John pleads, Sir, give me a few more days. I am confident your son will change. Later, Grisha goes to Mary's house to apologize. Mary warns him, Don't come near me, or I'll break your head. Grisha apologizes for his actions, saying, I did wrong to you. Please forgive me. Everyone watching in the studio is pleased, as Grisha now seems to realize his mistakes. Days pass, and the day of Natasha's wedding to the old man arrives. Everyone is dancing with joy, but Natasha comes to Grisha and says, I don't want to marry that old man. I'm going to drown myself in the river. She goes to the riverbank, ready to end her life. But Grisha doesn't care and starts talking to Mary, telling her that he is from the 21st century where people use small plastic boxes to magically talk from one village to another, and big iron birds fly in the sky. Suddenly, Billy comes over and asks, Natasha is missing. Have you seen her? Billy is reminding Grisha that Natasha went to the river to die so that Grisha would go save her. As soon as Grisha runs to save her, Natasha is informed that Grisha is coming and to start pretending to drown. Natasha starts acting like she is drowning, and Grisha arrives and saves her. He then takes her home. Meanwhile, Natasha tries to get intimate with him, but he completely ignores her because he now liked Mary more. After this, he changes his clothes and heads towards Mary's house to meet her. At the same time, the team informs Mary that Grisha is coming towards her, so she should get ready quickly. Mary comes out wearing village clothes and opens the gate. Grisha asks her if she would like to go out with him. Mary replies that she can't go because her father's health is not good. Now, since Grisha had started falling in love with Mary, Mary also had to play the role of his lover. However, this made Max very upset because, in real life, Max and Mary were boyfriend and girlfriend, and he didn't want any man to become intimate with his girlfriend. But Mary wanted Grisha to change because they were all working so hard for this. Mary and Grisha start spending time together, they go out, enjoy themselves a lot, and begin to get attracted to each other. Meanwhile, we see Max sitting with Natasha and drinking tea. He was very angry because he hadn't been intimate with anyone for a long time. Just then, they both get an idea and go to a stable to satisfy their desires by becoming intimate. Grisha and Mary were also passing by, and then they see what's going on there. They go inside and see that Max and Natasha are being intimate with each other. Seeing them like this, Mary gets angry and leaves. Then they are called out and told, Don't you have any shame? On set, you both are supposed to be siblings. After that, they are thrown out. Later that night, Grisha and Mary are talking to each other, and during their conversation, they kiss. Meanwhile, after leaving, Natasha goes to a news channel and tells them that Grisha has been kidnapped and is being tortured in various ways. Since the son of the country's richest man had been kidnapped, the police also start searching for him. Gustav is also watching all this, and he says to John, We have to stop this now. To this, John replies, Don't worry, brother. It will take the police 2 or 3 more days to reach here, and by then, I'll come up with an ending for the story. In the next scene, we see that the Mongols, who are bandits, arrive in the village. The leader of the Mongols wants 2 beautiful women to marry, so he kidnaps one. Her father steps forward to save her, and a fight breaks out between him and a bandit. During the fight, the bandit cuts off the father's neck, which turns out to be fake. Meanwhile, the leader starts looking at the second girl and notices Mary. He tries to take her away from Grisha. Everyone looks at Grisha, expecting him to do something to save her, but he cowardly runs away. Mary is asked to call out to him, so she screams for Grisha, but he doesn't listen and leaves. Everyone on the set is worried, wondering what to do next, as they didn't expect Grisha to run away. However, Grisha goes to the horse he used to take care of, takes it out and returns. On the other hand, the others quickly prepare themselves. Meanwhile, the police arrive in the village looking for Grisha, but they don't find him. The police ask the people what they are doing there, and they explain that they are shooting a movie, which is not a crime, so the police have to leave. Grisha and Mary arrive at a petrol pump while running, which surprises Grisha when he sees it. He wonders where petrol came from in 1860 when suddenly a man from behind fires an injection that makes him unconscious. After a while, he regains consciousness and his father tells him he had an accident and was in a coma for the last 3 months. After this, we see that Grisha has undergone many changes. When he goes to the club, nothing feels the same as before. Everything seems boring and useless to him, with no interest in anything. He goes to the police officer who caused the accident and apologizes by giving him the keys to his expensive car. Later that night at the club, he notices Natasha and Max. They both tell him that he did not time travel and did not have any accident. It was all done by his father to reform him. After this, they take him to meet Mary, where Grisha confesses his love for her, and Mary also expresses how much she missed him. They kiss each other, and in the last scene of the film, we see Gustav getting married in Nasty. There, Grisha also arrives and congratulates him on his wedding, to which Gustav thanks him and says, "Thank you as well." If you liked the video, do subscribe our channel.